I want to tell you a funny story unrelated to my sermon. I woke up this morning after having a dream that I was giving the sermon, and I decided it would be a good idea to emphasize in real time all the points that I make in the sermon, like 7 different things, with a temporary tattoo on my face. I was going to just make a point and then do this temporary tattoo on my face. It was so hilarious when I woke up for briefly yeah, that's a really good idea. I couldn't find any though, so I didn't think it. So when I was 21, I was living in Athens, Georgia. I was taking a secondary metalsmithing class from this intense, opinionated, chain-smoking, brilliant, eccentric, inspiring professor. His name was Gary. We were learning raising techniques and making fine silver goblets. And so this technique is very cool. You start with a flat piece of sheet metal, like about that big, and you get a stake, and then you put the metal there, and then with a hammer you tap right above where your stake is there, and then you move your silver, and you keep moving. You're doing little courses around the center, and so you start with this flat piece, and as you go, you do course after course after course, and it builds a bowl shape. It's a very cool process. I was just barely learning how this all worked, and I remember the day that our silver order came in. I was a starving art student, and this highly anticipated square of metal cost me a small fortune, and I was nervous and excited as our professor showed us how to begin. We needed to find the center so that we could do these courses around the center, and you needed to be able to see the center all the way, over course after course of heating it and things. So you needed to make a little divot in the very center so that you could see where center was as you went. So he casually gave us this center punch and a hammer, said you just find center and give it a little divot in the middle. So my friend took the punch first, and Gary was off having an espresso in his office or something at this point. So she took the punch first, and she tapped it in the center, and she went to show Gary, and I could hear him holler from the other room, "Too soft!" Her hole was not deep enough. So aiming for star student status, I took the center punch and I gave it a hearty whack. And then I held up my piece to admire my perfection of the divot, and to my horror, I could see right through the damn thing. I had punched a hole in the center of this expensive piece of silver. And when you have a heart full of anticipation and excitement, only to have it all dashed in the single second of a hammer strike. It was a gorgeous, shiny piece of silver with potential of a gleaming goblet, and in my incapable, careless, Magilla gorilla hands, it was, now reduced to this piece of metal with a hole in it. And I don't remember if I cried right away or if I waited until I sheepishly handed that pitiful piece of embarrassment to my revered professor. I do remember waiting for his curse words. I remember waiting for his mouth to spout what my head was thinking. I remember waiting for the tisk-tisk to come rushing out in a cloud of Lucky Strike smoke. But he didn't. What he did say to me in that moment has been the sermon that I've been carrying around for the last 27 years. He said, "Well, now you know how far is too far." Now you know how far is too far. That is the wisdom in going too far. The fact that now you know. And the part that he didn't say, but is kind of important, is now maybe you won't go that far again. Now we all got some great ideas about the beauty of balance in our sermons this month. Balance is the thing that we are all striving for. It's the peace. It's the calm. It's the correct, the comfortable. It's that little bubble in the green liquid on the level, sitting between those lines so perfectly. But here's the thing. You will get out of balance. You are going to get out of balance. You're going to get out of balance like a washing machine with a sleeping bag in it. You're going to get out of balance like a one-man seesaw. I got another one. Because even though balance is the aim, robust living is also the aim. What do I mean? Think of the song that Joe and I just sang about being up so high, but the fear of falling. That's a robust life. Think of the ecstasy and the agony of the first time you fell in love. Ecstasy for obvious reasons, but then agony when it all goes south, like it often does. Think of child rearing, how robust that life is. Think of taking a risk with a new business, or a really, really cool but slightly unstable job. Think of a time when you were just trying to keep it all together. You were on vacation in a place that was hot and sweaty, and there was a lot of walking on unfamiliar streets, and you were going to be late for your kayaking, and you weren't certain where to park, and you needed to eat something, and things were expensive, and you weren't really sure you were going to enjoy the kayaking, or the instructors were going to be patient. And then you kayaked and got sunburned shins. Because it was an open kayak and you didn't sunscreen your shins, and the day finished up with no time to go to the restaurant you wanted to go to, and you ended up at some nondescript Mexican place nearby, and then something about that place, that restaurant, the beach, the car with your boys, melts away your need to keep all your balls in the air. For the first time since you don't remember when, you let everything go and you embrace your robust life, and you enter the restaurant and every one of your senses is piqued. Loud, racing mariachi music, air conditioning on your tank-topped arms, smells of heat and smoke and fresh and ripe, vinyl booth seats on your bare legs, colors as bright and bold as the sun, the painful sunburn sensation starting to make its way up your legs, and then salty shrimp, creamy guac, bubbly Coke, and crunchy chips. Think of that day that you went to La Jolla Beach. That day of letting the extremes wake you up, and you will know what I mean about a robust life. Yes, balance is the aim, but robust living is also the aim. And with robust living comes imbalance. Like Gene Simmons, the first time he wore those platform boots. Like the pH of my hair when I buy cheap shampoo. Imbalance like my checkbook in January. Okay. I'll save the rest. And now I gotta take those off. Now I'd like to give you all some insight about